Greetings everyone, and welcome back to the Dark Lands of Barovia, where last we left off, non-review-wise. The group had returned to Vallaki to hastily prepare for their trip to Castle Ravenloft in an attempt to rescue Irina. Unless there are any thoughts that you want to get out of the way before we begin, we'll begin. Alright, cool. Now, I would like a couple brief reminders. I remember that you were headed towards the Baron's place to see if you could find Victor.
Yes.
And
you were going
Ari was
going
going
with me.
Ari was
right.
going with me. You two were going to the shop to get some more rations and other supplies.
Yeah, if you had like a shopping list of shit that you need or anything.
Just need some rations.
Sounds familiar. The way to the Barrens is unobstructed, and when you arrive, Ari, for the first time, you both see that it is in quite a state of disrepair. Windows are broken, the door is completely missing, there's just tons of scorch marks and mud, and all kinds of vandalism all over the place. Additionally, perhaps weird to Ari, perhaps not as weird to Strahd. Well, it's not weird to Strahd because Strahd sees all. Not as weird to Sasha. There's also a man passed out and chained to some of the shrubbery at the front of the house, who appears to be unconscious but groans ever so lightly as you make your way to the threshold.
How many days of
Couple. 5, 6.
Yeah, unless he's real, well, I guess
Someone might have been feeding him.
He is.
There's a guy chained up to this house.
Oh,
Also, this house appears to have been looted by a very angry mob.
you see, this house was looted, actually, and this used to be the Baron's house, and we killed him. And then the villagers killed his wife, and we are going to see his son. Additionally, the man chained outside is a attempted child murderer who was going to be transported back to Barovia in the care of Ismark, although Ismark is gone. So I'm not entirely sure that is possible. You know, that does actually. I'm going to look around. Is there a guard?
No. You guys are alone right now.
Okay.
You killed the Baron.
Yes.
Why?
He is a horrible man who was torturing people for not being happy, believing that happiness would drive off a vampire like some sort of abjuration. Unfortunately, there is no spell that I know of that exists, so it did not work. And eventually he attempted to kill an innocent, torture a man who had been forced into working for the devil. And let's just say Siguror took exception to that and removed his head.
I see.
And then we were driven out of town. Although upon the return of their wine, they seem to have been willing to forgive us.
I'm not sure how I feel about all of this, but I can't really be picky about allies right now, so I guess I will have to let this be water under the figurative bridge.
Yes, well, I assure you, we are here to kill monsters, and we did. Not all of them have fangs.
I'll take your word for it.
I will note Bluto, but I will do nothing about it at the moment. I will head in side, and I will say a quick detail first, however, and I will go towards Isaac's room.
Okay.
Is it still locked? Because it had a pretty heavy-duty lock that we locked before we left.
When you make your way to Isaac's room, or when you come to his door, you find that it's very very damaged. There's signs that someone, or a number of someones, have attempted to bash in the door, but it is still locked. It's still holding.
Okay. I will cast Firebolt at the door to try to destroy it. And I will do so until the door is destroyed or until... Because I don't know, you could pick locks.
I can open the door.
Oh, well, by all means.
After a couple of blasts where like the lock starts to heat up, you share and can go for it.
I cannot open the door.
Well, then it's fine. I will continue.
You think maybe if you'd led with it, it might have been a little easier.
I might have melted the lock.
One, it's hot, so you
Yeah.
try to go in like under style, and like it's kind of.
Sorry, I did not realize you were a thief.
Former feet. I'll have you know.
I apologize. Will I eventually do enough damage to the door with fireballs that it will get open? Because that's what I'm... Or not fireballs, Jesus. With firebolts. Basically, I'm just going to keep hitting it with the fireball cantrip until the door comes open.
You will, however, you are beginning to light like portions of the door frame on fire. It's small for right now.
I'll help him with Eldritch Blast
That's
as
close.
force damage.
Okay,
Fire,
well,
fire.
Trading between the two, there are like some small bits that you can either stomp out or not, or small bits that you can pat down or not pat down.
If we, I want to aim at the handle. If we can blow the handle out, then the thing that attaches to the wall won't be locking it in anymore.
Yeah. Once he Eldritch Blasts, I'm going to turn to Ari and say, "This is a strange spell. I've never seen it before."
I got it under some rather bizarre circumstances. I'll discuss it with you some other time.
Okay.
The door handle plunks down on the inside and the door swings open, revealing a slightly messy, but definitely untouched by the outside, room that has some simple furnishings, a chest, and dozens upon dozens of finely made dolls that resemble a woman, blonde, fair, you'd imagine. The dolls are a little cartoony.
I seriously hope this is not your
I thought she
room.
was a brunette.
She had red hair.
I think it is smart.
We'll fix it in post.
Well, to be fair, Isaac might have told them it was a blonde eye.
Isn't there a picture of all the dolls?
I'm just
Did
gonna
you show it
pretend
to
that I
us?
said brunette.
Okay.
Okay.
I will say, no, this is not my room. The Baron's man was stalking the woman we are going to rescue and had these dolls made of her.
Okay.
And I'm going to go and I'm going to start gathering them up, and I'm going to gather, how many are there, would you say? Like 30, 40?
Why are you taking his creepy dolls?
Well, I'm going to return most of them to their owner, and then I'm going to take the rest for a personal project. A spell component.
I'm going to say 25
25?
until I look in the book or the book disproves me.
I will take 12 and put it into one of my packs, and then I'll take the rest of them, the other 13, put them into a bag, and and I'll take the 12 nicest ones, or the least damaged. Are they all pristine?
Yes.
Okay, then
They're all immaculately kept.
then I will take the 12 that I like the most.
In fact, when you reach out and start handling them, Sasha's almost amazed at how soft they feel.
Okay.
Better than some beds you've slept on.
That's a weird way to put it.
Probably not, Chief.
Oh, they smell better than some beds?
I
If
will
you start
gather them
smelling
up.
the
I'm not
dolls, I'm
smelling the
gonna
dolls. Jesus.
I
Once
wanna
I
see-
gather them, I will say, alright, let us go find Victor. And I will head towards Victor's trapped spell door. And assuming nothing's out of the ordinary when we approach it, I will look and disable the fucking spell trap.
The only thing that's out of the ordinary is that a large amount of rubble now stands in your way.
Like,
Portions of the ceiling above have been damaged in some very brute force way, that there are a lot of splintered edges, and now like wooden debris and a little bit of stonework.
Is now where his door would be, or near where his door
Now
is?
half covers where his door would be.
Okay. So it would be difficult to get through his door, just to make sure.
Without moving it, yes.
Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I believe there was a back way that Croc told me about, and I'm going to head up to the Baron's room, up through the attic, and then around to his back door, because that's how he snuck into. When he was exploring the house, he discovered that there's a back door into Victor's room.
I remember.
Yeah.
Did he share that?
I assume you did.
He knew that he came in because he is the one that cast invisibility on Crack.
Well, it's also his tiny
You
servant
know-
was running at him.
And his tiny servant, yeah.
That is also true. It's close enough for you to guess either way. You spend some time, or rather, you take like your best guess. The house is pretty ransacked, so like you gotta avoid
Okay.
walking over stuff. But in due time, you're able to come into the room proper, and you find a studying Victor.
Yik-tak.
He looks up and like prepares to do something, and then sees, oh, it's you.
Yes, it is. I was hoping we could talk. This is
Who are
Ari.
you?
My name is Ari.
Ari, this is Victor, the Baron's son, a wizard. This is one of my new companions, I suppose you could say. He is also an arcanist as well, though I'm not entirely sure to what extent. We just met.
It's nice to meet you, Victor.
Why'd you bring someone else here?
It is dangerous, and my other allies were off.
Oh, I know. The ruckus you caused in town got a lot of people killed, including
Yes, it
my
did.
family.
Yes, it did. Your father hurt people, Victor. I figured you of all people would know that.
I didn't like him. He was still my dad.
Then take my apologies. I would not do anything different, but I am sorry that my actions hurt you. And your mother.
Do you have the magic I need to escape yet?
No, I have not been able to find it, which is why I'm going to Castle Ravenloft. When I return, I will have it.
Really?
Yes. But I came to enact our deal once more before we head there. Because if I die going there, then you will not get your spell, will you? And I will
You
be
won't
dead.
get it if you don't come back either.
I will come back. You still
might
have
die.
my magic. I might die.
Strahd's strong.
I'm going regardless. It is in your best interest to help me. If
I'll
you-
help you. Just with a condition.
Huh?
You're here for more ink, right? For more of my spells.
More of your spells, yes. I have eggs.
He takes out a spellbook and says, copy half of what you need. I'll give you the other half when you get back. No one's ever returned from Castle Ravenloft before. Maybe you will. Maybe you won't. If I have to be in it by myself, I may as well not have paid full price for it.
Yeah, that's fine. Alright, I'll copy the spell.
Forgetting that you like have your own inks, he kind of like watches like over you as a way to attempt to regulate it. So it's either your word or trickery. If
Well, it doesn't matter. It actually doesn't really change all that much. So I'm willing to only take one of the spells because I can get the other one from that elf. So.
And have you got anything new for me?
Yes. And I'll show him. Show him major image.
Whew.
In exchange for fly, which is what I'm taking out of his book.
It actually takes a little bit, but he does so.
And I will say, I will return, and your spell will be complete.
The spell to get out of here.
Yes.
Good.
Although, I will teach you the spell. I have no guarantee it will work.
You leave that part to me.
I will not. And I will turn to leave. I will say, alright, Ari, let's go. One more stop before we meet with the others. I have to make a drop off. And then I'm going to go to Blinksey's.
You do so. First, y'all head out, are ultimately directed to a small place in the stockyard for your trading good needs by anybody that you ask that is willing to answer the question. And upon visiting, an older woman sees you from where she is, sweeping just inside the doorway, and then closes the door upon seeing you, and then starts trying to lock it, but is fumbling with it. I'm having a really hard time.
Like she's outside trying to lock it
No,
closed?
she was in the doorway and
okay.
she closed it.
This is the place we need to be.
Hmm?
This is the place we need to be.
According to anybody you ask, this is the only place you can buy things.
This is like the same lady that I bought the previous supplies before we left beforehand.
I
The
believe so.
cornucopia and the other stuff.
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah, we are in dire need, and I'm not gonna be putting up with any shit. I'm just gonna walk in and just fucking just
Do it.
Continuing to fumble, the woman is able to provide no significant resistance to Siguror as he strolls right in, quite easily knocking her over and the door side. You are able to march in. There's an older man at the desk that looks.
if she
And-
falls over, yeah. Why were you on the other side of the door? Reach down to pick her up.
She takes her hand. Get away! You lot, you only cause trouble. I always heard that strangers cause trouble, and now I know it.
No trouble.
It's a lot of blood on all of your hands after what happened. Took a damn while to get back in order again. From the counter, there's an older man that says, "Please, please don't. Whatever you need, we'll offer you no resistance. Just don't hurt anybody."
I don't intend to. My character slightest.
We have no intention. Agree. We have no intentions of hurting anyone here. That does not mean us or the townspeople harm. What happened beforehand was unfortunate, but appeared was going to happen without our say. By how hard the Lady Watcher was pressing.
She's a nasty one.
And I had no
But
hand
that's
in
as
it.
much gossip as I'm going to do.
I had no hand in it, by the way.
That's true.
Really did.
Well, I don't care if that's true. The man is uncertain how to take this. As the older woman does her best to back up and take her feet, he says, and then what are you here for?
Supplies. We're making a trip, and we can definitely make it worth your while if you can fill out our needs. So anything, never mind.
Okay, I'll just be a minute. And he is. Well, he's not just a minute. They just take a bit. If it's just rations or normal supplies you're requesting, he has it.
It's a bunch of mundane stuff because I wasn't asked to get anything specific. I mean, a bunch of mundane gear rations, chains.
Yeah.
As long as there's
magnets.
Yes, mundane gear.
well, to an extent, to a limit. I was just saying, as long as it's mundane and nothing on there is too expensive,
How
you can get
expensive
it.
is too expensive? Because I gave him gold to buy some stuff.
For what?
Could I get a thing of alchemist supplies here?
No,
Okay, well,
it is not mundane enough.
then I gave you the cold for 12 rations.
12. Okay. I will add
How much are rations again?
5 silver.
Rations are 5 silver, so 6 gold. Okay.
About 5 silver. I'm going to go back to it, make sure I don't make myself look like I'm dumb.
Hey,
But-
6 gold was literally how much gold I have left. Lucky me.
Yeah, just whistles and shit like that, basically. I assume you won't do anything silvered. They have no way to silver shit. Okay.
You'd have to see somebody that specializes in that kind of thing.
Fair.
Rations.
Rations and a bunch of other supplies, and I can get the cost stuff from you
Yeah.
later if you want.
6 gold is 10. So
12.
12. Oh, I have 5 more, so.
Total. Okay.
So you can
Then-
get rations.
As we're leaving, I will. I'll leave them fucking. I know it might not be much to them, but 30 gold, just for that.
That's a lot to normal people.
Yeah, that is a huge amount of gold people.
Which is also evident to
buy more
Siguror,
shit.
because once he drops it, the man, he doesn't say anything. He looks and then he stops, almost like he's afraid this is some kind
gonna
of
say in
secret
character.
code of some kind.
Okay.
He doesn't want to violate
I'm
it.
gonna
so
say,
it's-
what in character? What are you doing?
The man starts sweating because now he's not sure.
What are you doing?
This is my part of the gold that I have earned. Is what I am choosing to do with it. Where we are going, we may not come back. It is better for other people to get it than who we are going after.
If we do come back, and we don't, if we need more gold,
Then we should have more.
how? How will we have more? We don't even know if this castle, this place we're going to.
Shut your fucking mouth.
He's got a beak. Shit, hella. You're right, cowman.
Crack hears some faint footsteps, and it's if you look out of the side of your eye, you can see that there's a townsperson that was walking this way, sees you and starts walking away.
Nope.
It'll be fun.
He's mind his own business pose.
I think it's.
I can assure you it is none that was given for supplies. If that is what you're worried about.
Well, it's not one word. That's worried about that's gonna be used right. The fact is, dude, right, fine. I'll ask the guy. Do you really need this gold right here?
He looks between the two of you. We get on just fine.
Behind
but we
back.
could get on more fine.
What are you gonna do with it?
What would you do with gold?
Buy more rations, like
Well,
a
we'll-
simple person.
We'll save it, likely, sir. It'll go to good use if you take it. If we take it,
It'd probably be better for us to take it because it's probably better used for our
Do you have other
purpose.
family besides the missus?
no, it's just the two of us. But please, do as you like. But there will be other customers if you could.
You wanna?
It is some of what I have earned with our doings. It's what I'm choosing to do with it. If you do not like it, tough.
Despite Craig's best efforts, it seems that Siguror will not budge. At least not now. Perhaps on the walk back to meet up with other people. No.
So
Are we-
actually, do I come across the guard or Blinksies first? Because if I come across the guard first, I'm gonna stop and talk to them.
You will inevitably, come across a guard first, because it takes a little bit to get
That's good to walk out for. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm not leaving unless you're leaving.
Nope, I narrated
I do
you
not
guys
trust-
walking back.
So
With that
when I come across the guard, I'll say, "You, I need
The guard didn't spot you immediately.
this way."
Look, he says, I don't want any trouble. Just
And if you come with me, there will not be trouble. Do we understand?
alright. What wickedness do you wish of me?
I'm gonna drag him over to where Bluto is. I'm gonna say,
Oh, that's gonna be a bit of a detour. Like once you're in town, you run into a guard.
"Is the Baron's house not near?
Yeah. It's like a little out there.
Like 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Okay, then I'll take the 10 minutes to go back, bring him to Bluto, and I'll say, this man attempted to murder a child. You will imprison him for the sentence befitting of this? He was to be taken to Barovia, but Barovia's burgomaster has disappeared and will not be able to.
I don't have any say in that kind of thing. I
You're
can
a
tell
guard.
Father
You're not
Lucian
us.
about it, but that's all I can do.
Fine. Then do so. Take this man to Father Lucian and tell him that he attempted to murder a child by throwing them into a lake and drowning them, and that he should see punishment befitting this crime.
Okay. If it earns me my life, I will do so.
I will nod and walk away. Now we'll go to Blinksy.
Okay. Were you suggesting that you were going to like take back the gold if his back was turned?
He said he wasn't going to leave until I left, so I have to leave. And
Well,
next
I'm
time I'll
gonna make
sneak
sure
back.
they take the money.
That's not what I asked. Do you have plans to take the gold if he leaves it? Because if so, then I will ask how you intend of distracting Siguror if you decide to, because Siguror is very insistent.
No,
If you're willing to let it
I
be,
wouldn't be the wiser
I'll just
anyway.
leave. You know,
Okay.
this is a waste.
well, I just wanted to double check as well. A not so quick stroll through town eventually brings you to a cramped shop that has a dark entrance portico above which hangs a wooden sign shaped like a rocking horse with a bee engraved in both sides. Flanking the entrance are two arched lead-framed windows. Through the dirty glass, you can see, both of you, a jumbled display of toys and hanging placards bearing the slogan, "Is no fun, is no Blakesy."
Delightful. I will approach.
It's quite easy to approach. In fact, when you enter into the place, you find that you are alone. Well, alone save for the shop's patron, or it's likely the shop's patron, as there is a heavyset man in purple garb and like a bell cap with like tails. He stops conversing with the small monkey on his shoulder to turn his attention to the two of you. Ah, new customers, perhaps? Perhaps.
Actually, Lixie, we have come to return some of your toys.
What? Return?
And I'm gonna put down the sack of the Irina dolls that are not the 12 that I'm taking, the 13 that I'm not taking, and I will say, the man you made this for, Isaac, he has no need of them. You should give them to children who will enjoy them. Their craftsmanship is excellent, yes?
Yes.
What?
I will do so. Has he been killed? He's not been seen for some time. I was wondering.
I do not know. And I'm willing to roll deception.
Well, we don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
We don't know if he was killed or
I
not.
know why he's gone, though.
Well, he asked if he was killed, and I don't know. We don't.
But I do know what happened.
You don't have
Stop arguing with the DM. No, I don't have guidance. I'm a wizard, not a cleric.
I forgot.
Do you still have inspiration?
No.
What did you get?
Well, you know, I can use lucky because next day will come up. 7.
I see.
I don't know.
Yes, well, regardless of what has happened to him, these dolls still need to go to someone, yes?
Yes, I suppose.
You of all people should know who needs it most.
Oh no. I understand the necessity of the happiness of the people of this village, especially the children.
Yes.
It is a shame that we no longer have those wonderful festivals. I feel that they surely would have broken the clouds if they were just given the chance to take root. But perhaps the children can be the ones to start this again.
Don't you know, the look on my face is exactly mirrored the look on Sasha's face as he's like, what?
And also provokes a question. Do you disagree?
I think if the festivals would have worked, would they not have worked by now?
Oh. Happiness only works if everyone is invested and on board. There were still people who were unwilling to give them a chance. Though I think it was only made worse by some travelers who came in and undermined the Baron as well. I was bedridden that day. I'm afraid I could not attend, but from what I hear, it was, well, the beginnings of something grave. Though, as you may have seen, the place is fine now.
Maybe everything turned out for the best.
Oh, in these lands, who knows? Are you sure you would not be interested in something?
When Asa came in to get these made, did he have one that was getting made when he disappeared? When you were still working on it?
If you're into dolls, I think I have something that might interest you. And he like leans down below the counter and starts shuffling around. And pulls out a little very vaguely human-shaped, like wood carving that has very thin, like cut all the way around. He says, "I do not know if you've seen something like this before, but it is 5 times the fun for one, And he realizes like the blank side is here, and he turns it, and there's like this red dressed howling woman's cartoon form. And he's like, "Did you see?" And he pulls it apart, and there's like a black dressed howling woman that looks a little younger.
Oh,
It's a Russian nesting doll.
Younger,
It's
and then-
Russian women.
and then younger until it gets to the last one, which is like a swaddled baby, only it has like a howling baby face. It's like, yeah, you see.
Jesus Christ! What the fuck? Okay, that's not what Sasha says. Sasha's just like, that is nice, but I was wondering if you have another one of these.
Oh,
That was perhaps being made for his sake.
well,
I would imagine he was very keen on getting it. Perhaps we can trade?
there is something that I was working on, but it's
Nice.
not for sale.
Oh. Why not?
Well,
The physics is gone. Why would you need not be concerned about his anger?
it is bad luck to do business.
But you see,
Like this.
all of these dolls he was making for a girl. Her name was Irina Kolyana. She's from Barovia. And he was going to give these dolls to her. Since he hasn't been seen in some time, I was going to bring the new one to her as a sort of gift from him, you see? So you can trust me.
Persuasion with advantage.
13, but you know what? I'm
I'll
just
give
gonna
it
try
guidance.
my luck. Okay.
Because I know you're trying to persuade him. It's more obvious this time.
14, 15, I got a 15. And I used another lucky.
He
Because we're not
strokes.
going to reach Castle Ravenloft in one day, so.
He strokes his chin. He strokes his chin and says, "Well, it would explain why his request was so specific. Wait, then why are you returning, son?"
It is a long trek where I'm going. I do not have enough space in my pack for all these dolls. I don't want to squish them in there, damage them, you know. So I'm only going to bring the nicest ones, yeah? Not that they are not all nice, but
No.
I'm not the big one.
Some of them are better than others. In fact, I do think that I surpassed myself with this one. And he, like, goes down and then brings out a locked wooden chest. And he, like, takes a key from off his belt and he, like, unlocks it. And he opens it. And he takes out a doll. Now, all the dolls that you've seen at this point have been Irina in various outfits. Irina in like a nice like pink summery shawl, Irina in like something resembling riding clothing, like noble clothing, farmer Irina,
She's like a Barbie.
He wanted
so
the
on
whole
and
set.
so forth.
Malibu Beach Irina.
The doll that he
Black Doctor Irina. That's a personal favorite of mine.
The doll that he takes out is important. Never mind. I just remembered.
Sorry.
I just remembered. You're blind. Never mind. He takes it
Well,
out
I
and
can
says,
see it, dude.
"I did an exceptional job with this one,
Okay.
I feel." And he starts describing like various assets of it. Now, if you share Sahar's site to get like an actual visual cue on it, this Irina looks and is wearing the exact same clothing as like the first time you ever met her.
Oh.
Now he's talking about like details of like stitching and the dyes, like they didn't run in places where they normally do.
This guy's like weirdly psychic. It's kind of unsettling.
He's a clairvoyant
I will
doll
take
maker.
it.
Well,
Thank you. It is very nice.
thank you. He should be happy. He's very specific with his descriptions.
Yes. He described all of these
Yes,
in detail.
yes. The woman that he hopes to impress, I have never met.
Oh.
I thought it was just perhaps maybe too much wine, but seems his dream girl is a reality.
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you. Unfortunately, I have business I must be going, but
Of course.
say hello to the children for me when you deliver these, yes?
I absolutely will. And you're always welcome back here if you have any more toy business.
I'll and leave. That's fucking weird. What the fuck?
I suppose you would ask about the monkey.
I didn't know the monkey is Rictardius. I don't need double confirmation of that.
Was he the littlest monkey we ever saw there?
He's not the littlest monkey. He is pretty small. You were able to leave.
Okay.
You were already able to leave.
Then we'll meet up with these
Taking a
guys.
trek through town. It is a short amount of time before you're able to meet back up once again.
Oh wow.
They say hi.
Carrying like a big ass full backpack of shit basically now.
Ah, I see. Well, if you have the stuff you need, we will meet Rictavio one last time, then we will go.
Also, yeah, this guy's a crazy man.
Well, I already knew that, but what do you mean?
He took a bag
He believes it is
of money.
a poor investment to leave money to the people of the town.
You can do with your money whatever you wish, but I could see more important uses for them.
If where we are going we do not return.
Well, then it doesn't matter what we do.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean the money could not be better used to prepare ourselves. But if you have money in excess, by all means. I guess not all of us are so fortunate.
I'm not a wizard that has to buy ink.
Weren't you saving up? Weren't
Why,
you
yes.
saving up for half plate, Mister? I don't have enough money.
I can't buy armor here.
Yeah, but you could when we went back to Barovia. They had adventuring supplies, right? The Creek
Yeah.
game? Yeah.
I didn't say you couldn't buy armor there.
Well, you gouge us, so I probably wouldn't have enough anyway.
No, he wouldn't. He thinks I'm Strahd's ally. Unless he made a stop by there and
If-
it's like, hey, actually,
If you wanted to give away gold for fun, that's fine and that's on you. What is on everybody is not on so much as happening. When you get back to the inn, you are flagged down by one of the staff. Like you hadn't seen him before, but it's like a young man with raven hair and like a little vest.
Raven
And,
hair,
like,
huh?
Yes. He
These guys are really on brand.
like as you're close to going up the stairs, he goes, "Oh, hey,
Yes.
yeah, go.
Mhm.
I was asked to give you this," and he like
I'll have it, or I'll take it,
holds out a letter.
and I'll unroll it and read it. What does it say? Take it over Sahar senses to read the.
You unroll it, and
Reveal your secrets,
the letter.
Exploding words.
The letter. No, it's not exploding. The
brief,
letter
brief SpongeBob scene when I was
says.
just
The letter says, "My friends, it's come to my attention that I must retreat for now. I will not be able to converse with you physically, at least not until it is safer. I am in a secure location, and you need not worry about me or getting in touch with me, as long as you look in the right places. You expressed concern about..." He doesn't clear his throat. "You expressed concern about the man that you gave to me, and I feel that I have read your intent and have left him behind in my room, though properly bound and sedated.
Really?
I will warn you, his arm has changed. I fear it is some type of demonic influence, not to state what may have been the obvious. Something deeper, perhaps something associated with this land. An evil that is not Strahd, but no less dangerous. I would be wary, whatever you use him for.
What does it say?
I have also spoken with our feathered friends, and they have agreed to aid you in your escape. Eyes shall be on you as much as they can be. while in the Devil's Castle. But it will be up to you to signal them when you need them.
Alright.
Once I finish reading it, I will say.
Oh, actually, no. Furthermore, I would beware of what your former friend, Grayla, knew, for it is likely now a handicap.
And now you know why I didn't want anyone to know I was blind. Because now Strahd would know. People call me paranoid.
Regards, Ritalia.
I will say, alright, then we have one less thing. Yes, well, it's in a safe place for now. Let's go to the room. And I will go to his room.
Okay. How much gold did you give me, by the way? So I can
6.
Okay.
You go up to the room, and the letter is true. There is Isaac, unconscious. He's tied up in chain and not rope. It's rather nice. It's locked.
Wrap him in a cloak and let's get outside the walls.
Are we kidnapping someone?
No. We're just taking him out of town and letting him loose. In the direction of Castle Ravenloft. He will be our distraction. If Irina is there, he will go. And he will most certainly die. But that will leave us time to do things.
You did seem to have a sick fascination with Irina. He may not be of the right mind if we do tell him what has happened.
How else would we use him? We cannot bring him with us. He will betray us the first chance he gets. To try to take Irina and abscond with her in the night. I say we use him as a weapon. A trained dog. Or a wild dog, really.
You're rather unscrupulous for...
Our enemy is unscrupulous. I'm realistic. We have already lost one person. Possibly 2. I cannot afford to hold back. And neither can you. Any of you.
Then let's just move. You have a cloak. I need to take it.
Just like a normal cloak. I assume we have cloaks as like part of our clothing.
Well, do you?
I do.
Yeah.
But mine probably won't cover him because I'm not a big guy. I assume the Minotaur has a big cloak.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was trying to do.
So wrap his mark up in that. Or
Jesus Christ,
His
mark, come on.
Wrap Isaac up in that.
Not even here.
Come on!
Coming back with us. Yeah, let's take him out of the walls and
As you haul him to his feet, you notice that his demon arm has turned like a darker red and now has little small, hard, pointed growths coming out of like points.
This is crazy.
It has advanced.
Yes. Wake him up.
We're outside the city already. So.
Yeah, we're outside.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Alright, you ease him.
Oh,
then I
okay.
will describe you ease him up. You're walking him along. You run into exactly.
Now wake him up while he's
2.
still in chains.
You run into exactly 2 types of reactions. In that, like, there are a couple of people who like work at the inn who like see what you're doing and kind of, and just kind of continue. And the normal townsperson,
No, the hood's pulled down over and the cloak is
which
pulled
is
tight
already
behind
not
his arm.
looking at you, but there are points where you're like moving along where people look away from you harder. Like, they weren't already looking, but they like adjust down more.
they extra
I'm
note.
trying to make sure it looks like I'm helping as much as I
Who
can.
cares? Let's just get him out.
You do your best.
I don't know, stop
Eventually,
guards.
you are beyond the town wall. How far outside town are you getting?
Out of
100
eyesight.
feet.
Out of
Up
eyesight.
on that hill where we saw that weird spirit thing.
Sure.
And then
Okay, so a little
why
while.
still in chains? Wake him up. Isaac.
He kind of was. He was like kind of starting to come to, and then like once he gets shoved down, like right when you call his name,
Isaac, Irina has been taken by Strahd. The Baron is dead and you have nothing left. We're going to let you go, and you have two options. You can help us, but then you must do exactly what we say. Or you can go and try to save her by yourself, and it will certainly fail. Make your choice. And I am going to use my portent, which is a 20, on whatever check I need to make to try to convince him. I got a 20 and a 17 on my portents.
You actually don't have to make a check.
Oh, okay, well then.
He nods. He gets up, and then he puts himself like inwards. Actually, I'll say he puts it. He gestures inwards, like get the chains off, but he also kind of hunches over a little bit, shows you a little bit of his head, trying to posture in a kind of I've agreed way. He doesn't articulate it
Okay,
with
see,
his
I thought,
voice.
So let's get the chains
the
off.
way you were saying he was moving, I thought he was just
No.
What? What?
Holy shit! Is it?
He is not Hulk.
Alright, we'll let him free.
Now, give him back his axe.
Give him back his axe.
He's about to ask something when you the axe, and he grabs it, and you both have a bit of a moment, or at least he attempts to before he takes it, but softly.
Let's go. Now, what is going to happen is, so I've learned a new spell. It's called Phantom Steed. It's a ritual. It lasts an hour, no concentration. It gives me a horse that moves way faster than a real horse. Additionally, it doesn't ever need to slow down, meaning it doesn't have to make force mark checks because it constantly goes at its top speed, which is 100 feet. Yeah.
A horse
Okay.
is 60.
Yes, it's much faster than a normal horse, and it doesn't have to slow down. All that has to happen is I need to ritual cast it during the last 50 minutes of it being up, which I can do while riding the horse.
Huh.
So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to first, I'm going to reach the Vistani camp before everyone else can. I'm basically just going to ride ahead and use that to give me enough time to copy spells out of Casimir's spellbook, because I had a couple spells I wanted to pick up from him, and also I was going to mention to him, hey, we are still going to do that thing for you, but we can't do it yet. I'm sorry, we need a little more time.
We still have a few more days before we.
No, we don't. We told him a week, and a week is basically, unless my count is off, tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, I'm really sorry.
Maybe
We
even
are going to help
sooner.
you, but we need more time.
So, he is distraught and sad, but knowing full well that the Vistani will have his hide, perhaps literally, if he doesn't mean to you, he goes along with it.
Sorry, because our companion has been taken. I'm going to copy some stuff out of his spellbook, and then I'm going to meet back up with the group using the fact that I'm way faster than them. And then basically the only other time I'm going to go ahead is I'm going to make sure I reach the outskirts of Castle Ravenloft an hour before everyone else does. And the reason I'm going to do this is for purposes of advanced scouting. And do you want me to explain now, or once you actually describe the state of the Castle Ravenloft? Because I can tell you my plan.
Go ahead and tip me off now.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ride up to the outskirts of Castle Ravenloft. I am going to spend a minute casting Tiny Servants and animating 3 Arena Dolls, and then I am going to cast Arcane Eye. Arcane Eye creates basically an invisible orb of magic force that I can move around and see through. And it lasts for an hour, and it can slip through anything small, like an inch or bigger, including a keyhole or under the cracks of a door. And it lasts for an hour. So I'm basically going to use it to scout as much of Castle Ravenloft as I can. Additionally, because I'm now a level 7 diviner, I have the effect Expert Divination. Whenever I cast a divination spell, I actually want to get there 2 hours in advance. I wrote this all out in advance and then I kind of forgot. So I get there 2 hours in advance. I cast Tiny Servants. I send in my Arcane Eye. Arcane Eye triggers Expert Divination. Expert Divination gives me back a spell slot of a lower level spell of the divination spell I cast. Arcane Eye is a 4th level spell, so I get back for free the 3rd level spell I used to cast my Tiny Servants. Then, with the other hour after I've scouted, I'm going to short rest to give me another 4th level spell. Using my Arcane Recovery feature to give me up to 4 spell levels. I'm going to use it to get back my 4th level spell. And then hopefully if I've timed my stuff out, by the time I'm done, I'll have Irina dolls, I'll have scouted an hour of the castle, I'll have short rested to get my spell back, and everyone else will just be meeting up with me.
Takes like a few days to get there, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
should.
Well, I'm only going to show up 2 hours in advance, and I'm going to try to be in a place hidden away, like on the outskirts.
You're going to
of
be with the
castle.
group for the travel.
Yeah, for the travel.
Until towards the end.
But on the little end, I'm going to use the fact that I have a magic horse to just be like, hey, I'm going ahead to do preparation stuff. And that basically gives me a free Arcane Eye and a free
Shouldn't
Tiny
the scout
Servant.
do that?
Nope.
Whatever.
I'm a divination wizard, and I have divination spells now. I am the scout. No offense.
Cool. So, that just means you get to fucking do the scouting now. I get to sit back and wait.
You can do
all
the
Didishi. Backdoor. As I create my Arcane Eye.
It's all bidirectional, isn't it?
Yeah. I can bring up the specifics of Arcane Eye, but it is an awesome, one of my favorite spells of all time.
There's like a stupid long description of it.
It might.
Kind of like one to
This is the first time. This is actually the first time I've used it in 5th edition. But I used to use this spell all the time in 3.5.
Did you use it in Atlantis?
Create a visible magical eye within range of others in the air for the duration. You receive visual information from the eye, which is normal and dark vision up to 30 feet. The eye can look in every direction.
Mm-hmm.
You can move the eye up to 30 feet in any direction. There's no limit to how far away the eye from you can move, but it cannot enter another plane of existence. Solid barrier blocks the eye's movement, but the eye can pass through an opening as small as 1 inch in diameter. Yeah. Awesome spell, and I'm going to use it to I spy with my little eye the inside of Castle Ravenloft.
So what did you use the last session?
Now I know an hour. I know Castle Ravenloft is big, and an hour is a lot of time. So if you want, you can just give me a very short rundown on stuff that might be of interest, or some options on where to send the eye, because it moves. It moves fairly fast, but not like. I probably can't scan the whole castle.
I will do one of those two things. I'm more interested in something else that I am attempting to scan for as quickly as I can, which is not quickly at all.
Now, while we're on the way to Castle Ravenloft, I will say to the others, we have here a unique opportunity. While our first priority should be rescuing Irina, there are other things that we can do when we're there. We know at least one of the treasures Madame Ava mentioned was in Strahd's tomb.
Who's this Madame Ava?
Somehow I keep forgetting that you were new. I'm sorry. Madame Ava is one of my people, the Vishtani. She is a great seer. Using her Taraka card, she has revealed our future. Our ally, the man Rictavio you met. Additionally, she has told us of 3 treasures. And I will recite basically the descriptions of the treasures that will help us in the defeat of Strahd. We know that one is within his tomb. We do not know where the other 2 lie. We have not found them yet.
Like, as you're beginning to describe the first one, it's like, should we be telling someone that we do not know that they're completely out yet?
He fought the Druids with us. I have no reason to believe that he is not an ally.
I also agree to help us.
No. It's playing too ideal.
I understand your reservations. Do we want to try to find the treasure while we're there?
If possible. Rescue is obviously first priority.
Well, I'm saying we could. Once we have Irina, Strahd will be after us. So if we want to find the treasure, we will need to do that first and then find her. Which we can do. I will be able to find her once we're inside. But I need to know if we want to attempt to find the treasure before.
Maybe it sounds useful to me.
Alright, that is what Ari thinks. Crack, Siguror. Siguror.
How long do you think you would wait before he tries anything?
I do not know. But I know once we have Irina, we will need to leave immediately. He will be after us then. I think the only chance we have of getting the treasure now is to do it before we get her. I do not think we will be able to move around the castle unmolested once we have rescued Irina.
If we do leave relatively unscathed, he will up his
You will
defenses,
certainly-
whatever he has.
Yes. If not, straight out follow us.
This is the smarter option.
So it sounds like we're more or less in agreement on that. So then what I'm going to be, so the just to remember correctly, the treasure said it was in his tomb or in his coffin, like
Or his
what-
resting
It
place?
was in his resting place. Okay, then what I'm going to try to find with the eye is, I'm going to try to look. He probably doesn't have his resting place in like a room. He's a vampire. It's probably underground. So I would guess it's in some sort of like, not cavern. It's in some sort of catacomb or something like that, right? So I'm going to be looking, once I go in, I'm going to use the arcane eye to try to find any sort of catacombs or under the castle place. I can't.
Woman above the fire.
Okay.
I will also keep an eye out for anything that sounds like one of the other things mentioned by Madame Ava, a woman above a fire, which I think we discussed in an earlier session. Could be some sort of painting.
It kind of makes sense unless it's literally a person hanging over a fire.
But you know what? I'll also keep my eye out for a woman hanging over a fire, because that's a pretty clear indicator as well. Additionally, the last one was a fortress within a fortress, so if for some reason there's like a small, like, bionicle fortress, Lego fortress in one of the rooms, I'll be like, hey!
Could mean a portal in a fortress to another plane.
Or a magical portal, anything of interest. And of course, if I see Irina, then I will take extra note of that.
That should be expected. It is a dark and dreary travel with dark and dreary company. At least as far as your newest companion is concerned. He keeps to himself for the most part, though every once in a while you do catch him grumbling about wine. Or the lack thereof.
I guess when we get like halfway there.
This guy should run Harvard.
Toss him the last of the
Yeah, Rob should is it?
last of the crush that I have.
No, I don't mean that.
If we're going to be storming a place together, I mean, we're going to be storming a place together. I've had most of it.
You see the moment in his face where he decides that he's too prideful, which is only a second before he actually takes it from you and drinks the rest of it.
Alcoholism beats pride any day.
My reasoning is maybe this will get close to like brother enough where he won't just try and kill us later.
I
Maybe.
doubt it. We're almost certainly going to have to cut him down once we find Irina, but it was
You-
helpful in the meantime.
You attempt to make friends, and that is fine.
Harder the ally line.
Your travels bring you first to gates that you passed by oh so long ago. The gates far before Castle Ravenloft proper. In particular, after winding through the forest and craggy mountain peaks, the road that you're currently on takes a sudden turn to the east, and startling, awesome, the presence of Castle Ravenloft towers before you in the distance. As you continue to move, you are able to see, even from here, the large drawbridge currently raised. And you can almost hear the ancient chains that must operate them. About 2 hours before, as far as your map estimates, you will arrive. Sasha departs on his ghostly steed. As he arrives, the drawbridge lowers. It starts lowering like when you're in transit, and when you get to the drawbridge, it is fully down.
Oh boy.
Well, I should know. I'm not entering in it.
I mean, it's down. It's there for you if you want it.
Yeah, I don't. Not till everyone else gets here. I'm gonna stay outside and cast my spell, hidden in like a.
Are you gonna hide the arena dolls?
They're in my pack.
No, I mean the ones you handed me.
Well, no, they're just they're gonna be sitting by me, and I should note, unlike my normal tiny servants, they're not all like. They're more like just silent and almost regal-like, but in a small, weird, mechanical sign of way. And then one of it just kind of smooths its clothing and just stands there.
Probably the one in a sundress.
Well, whatever.
There's totally an Irina that's dressed in Vistani type clothing.
Sure.
That could have been one of the ones you kept.
Sure.
It was brightly colored, more brightly colored than the other ones.
God, I hope he doesn't flip out.
Sasha,
Mine now.
Sasha begins his work amidst the almost eerie silence that pervades the area. You cast your eye. You make the preparations with your servants. You send the eye forth. The eye crosses threshold, or at least drawbridge, and moves. Before it can enter the castle proper, it must pass through a courtyard. It is maybe later in the day. It is not quite night yet. Despite this, there's a thick and cold fog swirling in the courtyard as your eye traverses it. There are sporadic flashes here and there of torches still lit in other areas. Through a slight drizzle that starts seemingly as your eye is getting closer, you can see, or rather the eye can see, sputtering torches that hang specifically on either side of the keep's main doors. There's a pale, but still warm, light that spills out of the entrance, flooding into the courtyard and dispersing somewhat in the muted daylight of your natural surrounding. And high above the entrance is a round window with shards of broken glass lodged in its iron frame. Furthermore, as your eye is passing through or passing into the courtyard, there are also two towers that it must pass between before reaching the castle proper.
Alright.
Were you just headed towards the castle?
Yep, just send the eye in. Assuming that the door has has either a space at the bottom or a keyhole. It can slip into any space as small as an inch.
It's probably not watertight.
Yeah.
Very likely not. Just trying to find this.
Sorry for boring everyone else
You'll
with
enter.
my advanced scouting.
But it's not your fault. I've been awake for a while.
The eye passes through the entrance that was described and comes into a small, like a small receiving area attached to a much larger room.
Okay.
As it, like, there's not a whole lot in the room because it's kind of meant to be passed through. There's like a little bit of decoration, but nothing of note.
Alright.
I have a question. You can see through the eye. Can you hear through the eye?
That's a good question. It's arcane eye, so I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't hear.
I forgot I wanted to throw out there. I guess Wall was going up there. Probably keeping with tradition.
Nope, I can't hear
Just
anything
talking
through
about tales from basically trying to bolster everybody up with
Okay.
tales from home while we're up there, or making the walk up there.
What about the walk?
Probably part of tradition on the way to a big fight, bolster everybody with like tales from home of like great things and things to come, and basically like performing, I suppose, for everybody.
Sounds like a good idea. Once past the receiving area, the arcane eye is able to gaze upon the ornate outer doors of the castle, hanging open, all too easy to float through.
One's here.
They too are flanked by fluttering torches in iron sconces. 20 feet inside the castle is a second set of doors.
Okay.
As it approaches, these doors are closed, but then open. See, that gets like within like a few inches.
Oh.
And you are able, rather the arcane eye is able to travel into a much wider area.
I don't like that.
This one, though it is somewhat decorated, has cobwebs here and there, and is very dusty. The torches inside here light this place, but very dimly. There is only one obvious way forward. However, as your eye moves forward, a figure steps into view in front of the eye.
It's saying a 60-degree vision. I didn't see it before it moved in the way.
No, but knowing that it is 360-degree vision, you get to see the bizarre sight of someone practically stepping out of shadow. If you were just looking straight ahead, it'd be like, oh, I guess I didn't see it since it's 360, because I didn't know that.
Okay.
Is like seemingly stepping out of shadow is a thin-faced elven man from the hair, the ears stick out from black straight hair that cuts off at about the jawline. There's a sharp nose and slightly sunken eyes. He steps in the way of the eye and says something.
Fuck this guy.
The eye's invisible, right?
The eye's invisible, but apparently they have some sort of seeing visibility effect up. But unless he dispels the eye, I'm just gonna keep going. Because I can't hear what he's saying anyway.
The man, cocks an eyebrow and mouths something that must be sarcastic from his demeanor, but, you can't hear it. And a character, is the eye, physically interactable
No.
with? Okay, never mind.
The eye's not physically interactable with. So unless he can dispel the eye, I don't think he can do anything to it. I will double check. But I'm pretty sure he just has to hold that shit.
Alright.
Huh?
He's over here cackling at me because
Okay, well then.
Cross your legs, bite your tongue,
I'm
dig your nail.
biting my tongue.
Well, I bet you just stay awake in class.
It can be blocked by solid physical barriers, so it might be able to be grabbed. I don't know.
Okay.
It is
Well,
flipped
I
to
don't-
like a
The thing
box.
is,
That's
I
the
think
question.
it's like squeeze through someone's fingers. I'm not sure he could
Because
stop
that's the
it.
opening.
But
of
if he
an
makes
inch.
like a wall,
Well, that answers the question that I had enough for me. In that, you see, since you can see like all over, that the elven man is following the eye. He continues to drolly articulate something as the eye continues to hover around and look.
okay.
Beyond this area, there's like a large set of stairs that goes up, and there's like some smaller stairs off to like the far right that go down. There's like a doorway like as you're floating, so you can kind of make out what appears to be maybe some kind of kitchen or something. It's not one of your goals, so like I'm assuming your eye doesn't like go down there.
No. It's looking for an entrance to some sort of catacombs or basement or something like
The
that.
shallow stairs go like down a little bit, so I would assume since you're already looking for catacombs, like that's where you go, and you were able
Is he
to.
still-
Yes.
Okay.
So how was it armed?
What?
Oh yeah, is the oven dude armed?
Yes.
Oh.
Like inspecting him in particular, he is armed.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to make sure, because the way you're describing it's not Strahd, right?
No, it's an oven dude.
Right. Strahd's not.
Strahd's not an elf.
Right.
This is
He
not
has like
Strahd.
He has like an elf butler. Or something.
Maybe.
Forgive me. You are able to follow those stairs to a room with a high domed ceiling. It's like 30 foot wide. It's like vaguely octagonal, and it's actually octagonal. It has frescoes that have faded with age that are on the ceiling. Those kind of hard to make out here. And it also has like a number of slits like in the walls that surround it. Either way, this quickly is discovered to not be what you were looking for. It like takes a little bit to look.
What is this? How big are the slits in the walls?
Not very big. Like maybe 5 feet. Maybe like 5 feet tall. Like maybe like not maybe.
How wide?
5 feet tall and like 2 feet wide.
Oh.
Or no, like 6 inches. My bad. This is
Do
2
they
feet.
lead to the outside? Like what's
Peering at it, they do.
So this is like a guard tower?
You have a pretty good view of like the drawbridge. So yeah, it might be.
Okay. From the guard tower, is there another entrance back in I can see? Like maybe a window across the place or something?
From this position in the tower, no.
You're.
I was gonna go out through there and I turned through another way and be like, fuck you, elf. But
Now,
I
you
can't.
could go, like, you could, like, hope to find another window if you wanted to go, like, through
You
the
know what?
slit.
Fuck it. Yeah, let's just go out through the slit. See him follow that. I don't think he's 6 inches wide. God damn it, elf.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go out through the guard tower and see if I see another entrance back into the castle.
You catch a mild but still put out. The most polite, sarcastic eye roll you have ever seen as the eye, whoop, and like goes along its back. It takes a little while, but towards the end of your time, like looking, you are able to find something that looks like it leads down to a catacomb type area.
Okay.
And out of character, I'm gonna like give either modified descriptions or like make judgment calls on things that you also saw during the scouting. And if I forget,
That's
even
fine.
though I'll frown at you, I guess go ahead and be like, well, I scouted. Was I here?
Okay.
Maybe like advantage on some perception checks if you like toss the room.
Alright.
occasionally, if you're like, I don't know where this is,
So I
I
know
kind
where
of
the
know.
entrance to the catacombs are, and I know roughly how to get there.
Yes,
Okay.
and you have knowledge of a certain, like a small portion of rooms inside. So if you're like, was I here before? I could be all like, yeah.
Okay. Then, once everyone else catches up with me, I will say to the rest of them, he appears to have some sort of elven servant who followed my eye. I don't know how he can see the invisible, but he can. He had weapons on him, so we should be careful. I know the entrance to the catacombs, and I've seen some other things as well, the guard tower and a couple other rooms. I say we go to the catacombs, try to find Strahd's resting place, retrieve one of the treasures, and then after that I will be able to find Irina. Are we ready? Okay. But before we go in again, I'm going to cast another animate object and animate 3 more Irina dolls.
You have the quiet fascination of Izek as you do so. There's even a moment where he starts to, but then has to stop himself from reaching out to try to touch him.
Okay. How close does he get to touching it?
His hand for anybody looking at him when he does it, which is up to you how focused you are on him or not. It raises a couple inches and then he puts it back down. So
I was gonna say if he reaches out for one, that Irina doll slaps him. But if he doesn't,
regretfully he doesn't get that close. But there's a moment where he in spite of himself is perhaps maybe thinking to himself later.
All right. Yeah, let's get ready to go in.
Glibly walk across the weather-beaten wood that is the drawbridge. The thick, swirling fog in the front courtyard persists.
Are you just in gear and just rehoisting the spear, I suppose?
It is a
You're
cold...
one piece of magic anything we've got in this entire game.
It is a very cold wind that welcomes you to Castle Ravenloft. That is not the only one. Rather, that is not the only thing. As seemingly stepping out from shadow, though a lot earlier than your eye was stepped in front of, is a thin-faced, now put out looking elven man with black hair, despite looking finely dressed. He doesn't look super rustic or anything. He is still wearing leather armor, even though it is styled a little bit. He is armed with a blade at his hip, and he says, "Am I to presume that you are Master Zarovich's guests?"
No.
I will say to him...
Sorry. I forgot a vital part. Just why I'm terrible GM. He steps out of shadow, but his stepping out is preceded by a chorus of hundreds upon hundreds of terrible screams that force themselves into your heads like screws. It is almost amazing to you that you're able to hear him as he calmly asks, "Are you the guests of Master Zarovich?"
Can I roll a intelligence history on the famous legend of the screeching hell owl?
What the fuck was
Whatever
that?
the fuck that was? Or maybe Arcana?
It would be closer to Arcana.
Okay. 24. Or, wait, 25? 25.
Barring correction.
26. I'm sorry, Jesus. I cannot count today. I got a 26 on my intelligence Arcana check.
It was the screaming, it distracted you.
It is said, or rather you have read, that it is possible for one who engages in purposeful murders in service to some kind of dark power, it'll manifest itself in certain ways and leave marks on people. But if you are particularly dyed in the wool, those marks will then affect themselves onto others.
So he's killed so many people that we hear the screams of his victims every time he appears. Because that's the most metal fucking thing I have
Jesus
ever
Christ!
Unless you have shielded your mind magically, yes.
heard. Then I will say
Get
to him,
Yeah, I'm taking your lead on this one.
I will say to him, I did not know he was expecting guests Hell Night. I would assume that he would be busy with his new bride.
The personal matters of Master von Zarovich is of little concern to you. Though, I will say he has had a week to get over his new company.
Has it been a week?
From the Wizard of Wines?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's been
yes.
more than a week, I guess, actually.
Well, I actually thought it was less, but I forgot about the time it would have taken us. Because it was 3 days to get back to the Wizards of Wines, but then it was 4 days to go from...
Yeah.
it was a week. You're right, I'm done.
Shit.
Then
I
I'm-
am certain that he will have enough attention to spare for you, or as much as you are worth. If you would follow me.
We will not. Unless you seek to force our hand.
He purses his lips. But before he can say something, there is another voice from the darkness that says, "It is fine. I will be able to guide them." Walking from out of the castle is a mere shadow, a mere shell of your former companion Grayla, sporting grayed skin, sharp ears, and red eyes.
I fireball them both. I mean, maybe.
Are you sure?
Do you guys want to? Do you want to just kill them both right now?
Why would he?
Master von Zarovich knows how headstrong they can be. I offered my services in keeping them tame until he may meet with them proper. They are eager to see the castle, no doubt.
Oh God, Strahd knows about the prophecy. He knows about the visions.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter.
Fuck.
He probably would have noticed in like if you scrying on us from the beginning. Second off, fucking we were getting a
So,
reading from somebody that might say or might not.
you have the options to go around with a guide, do as you're told, or fight. This is potentially a very important choice. Would you like more time than just now to think about it? Because it's also one hell of a great place to stop.
I don't know. I think if we both just double fireball these guys,
But
that's a pretty good start to that fight.
would it be able to kill Grayla?
It is a good start to the fight. If
We have them
roll up.
outside. I mean,
Well,
we do out-level Grayla by 2
You're
levels.
a little
By
late to cast.
2 levels.
Okay.
Rayla can regenerate.
Was there anything else
She
around?
still has her spell slot, and she could heal.
You're in like an entryway.
that's what I'm saying. We should maybe just kill Grayla and his fucking elf boy right now. Just get it out of the way.
If you think we're strong,
Going
fine.
through the motions. This is your plan.
I mean,
Well,
I have a
I'm
plan.
asking out of character.
I'm following your lead.
Yes or no?
But
Do
out
we
of
attack
character,
them
it's
now? Because I'm totally willing to just fireball right now if you guys are down. Crack.
Crayon. God. Again.
Ooh. I said there's got to be a better time to do it.
Okay, so I have one for yes, one for no.
I'm torn. If we have a guide, we might see one of the things we're looking for. Like we might see the painting that indicates one of the.
I can find it anyway. We don't need
Finding it.
guides. Not only am I capable of finding, I just want you to know, depending on how literal the interpretation of a spell is, I can possibly find the painting if we assume it is a painting, and I can absolutely find Irina.
Because we still have her here.
Yeah. I'm fine with fireballing then, but I think they're gonna be strong. Like we might have a good start to the fight with fireball, and there are 4 of us. and
Double
2 of them.
fireball. It's better than fighting fucking. If we take them out now, it's better than fighting Strahd with the 2 of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand what you're saying. How if we fight them, we'll burn resources before we even get in the castle.
Yes, but we'll remove some of his resources.
That's true.
It's not like we're just
I'm
using it to get
fine
in.
with it. How he's had this elf man for a long time though. If he's attached to him, he might. I don't know.
Hate us more than he already does?
Let this
Well, I mean, we're really about to test that limit anyway.
He said he was going to stop fucking around with that
Say
thing, right?
to
So.
him, yeah, he already said he's not holding back, so we need to not hold back either.
Do it right now.
What sorry, remind me, David, what was the last thing he said?
I believe Grayla was the last person that spoke.
Okay, sorry, what
If
was David say?
Okay. Grayla was telling the elfin man that she had told Strahd, she referred to him as Lord von Zarvich, that you are particularly spirited, and they would likely be eager to see some of the castle first.
I have seen all I need to see. Incantus, Volca, Imperial! And I will start forming a ball of flame on my finger and just fireball both of them. Are they within range of each other to fireball? Sorry, that actually changes the plan. If they're not within range to fireball them both,
Yeah,
then that's less good. Are they within a 20-foot radius of each other?
Yes, but just barely.
Okay, fireball. And I'm cool with us cutting it there, but just let it be known that
Yes, I'm going to collect initiative, but we'll start off next time with battle at the entrance to Castle Ravenloft.
You want us to roll now or roll at the start of the next session?
I was going to collect it right now.
Okay.
I
get to roll with initiative.
Did you roll your points for the day?
yeah, I have a 17 and a 20.
Oh. I'll show you that. Because I somewhat misunderstood how Fireball looked, but actually reading the description. Okay.
The elven man who is receiving you got a 5, and
My portent doesn't work that way anymore.
I think you even told me that before. Fuck.
I got a 16.
Then I won't worry about it, or rather, I will until next time you correct me. I'm going to get some paper. This. So do tell me, what does Sasha get?
I have some fresh ones if you want.
I'll probably read.
Okay. Sasha got a 16.
And what about Ari?
The 10. Which is not great, but could be worse.
And what about Crack?
23. That conversation would have had it for initiative.
Sure.
23. Nice.
15.
Stun that fucking elf. No, stun Grayla.
You said 15?
Yes.
Because she can heal. We don't need that shit.
Yeah, true.
Hey, hopefully she's still level 5.
She's still level 5.
Yeah, she's level 5 plus
She's a
vampire. Yeah. The 2 fireballs plus fucking stun, holy light flurry plus you running up and stabbing her. Because your weapon's magic now, so they don't have that bullshit resistance anymore. We might be able to
That's
kill
true.
We might be able to kill Grayla before she even goes. And then we can focus on taking out the elf, assuming he doesn't just teleport away.
Well, the next time, the race is on. But right now, I'm David Harper.
Deep
I'm artist David Harper on Instagram and Twitter. I do art things, send-offs, and plugs for the rest of you. Starting with you.
I'm Marvelous. You can find more of me on Lights Camera Initiative, where I speak for some people some of the time. Additionally, you can find me on Thursdays on the Tainted Lands of Antimor channel, where I play Luca Dualar, who is a totally normal guy. That does not hurt my throat at all. Thanks for asking. We are gonna kill the shit out of these two people. I'm tired of taking Strahd shit. It's our turn. Fireball time.
Don't forget that's a single digit by the level area.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
We're level 7? Yeah. 7's pretty strong.
Maybe you should have waited until your send-offs.
I've polybuffed it.
Robert, I'm playing Ari, and
Alright.
Jack playing Crack, thank you, Monk Ranger. And Grayla must die.
thanks. Rayla's already dead.
Again.
Alright,
And what about you?
you best.
Well, I am looking forward to a great fight. I am just thinking, we're probably not going to be able to get a rest here.
Well, in theory, we could kill them, run off, get arrested, and come back. Is he gonna follow us into the... No, we're at the closest point to a rest. Technically, if we're gonna fight two of the fucking mini-bosses, now's kind of the time.
You just fucking retreat to the courtyard after your victory. Blow mist up my ass, you fuck. You're not gonna come down here and fight me yet.
Yeah, come and fight us out of the castle without your lair actions. See how well that'll actually probably go pretty well, but whatever.
You may have done it at Yester Hill, but can you do it at the foot of your own castle?
Yeah, when I have spells now and can see with my fucking... When I can cast Counterspell again, yeah. Dick.
We will almost certainly find out next time. But until next time, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.